The event at the UN's New York headquarters included ambassadors from dozens of nations and featured Mahmoud Abbas, president of the Palestinian Authority. During his remarks, Abbas compared Israel to Nazi propaganda chief Josef Goebbels and declared that Nakba is ongoing.
Nakba, ladies and gentlemen, did not start in 1948, and it did not stop after that date. Israel, the occupying power, continues its occupation and its aggression against the Palestinian people, and it continues to deny this Nakba and rejects international resolutions regarding the return of Palestinian refugees to their homeland, to their cities and villages, of which they were displaced by aggression and terror.
You know, the UN right now, as we are here celebrating the 75th independence of the Jewish state, at the UN, they are holding an event marking the catastrophe of the Jewish state's rebirth. This is absurd. The only catastrophe is that the Palestinian leadership 75 years later continue to seek the Jewish state's annihilation and refuse to make peace. That is the real catastrophe.
Arsen Ostrovsky, CEO of the International Legal Forum, says the Palestinian Authority publicly calls for the elimination of Israel. He joined an event in Jerusalem called Declaration Day, sponsored by Forever Israel.
Declaration Day on May 15th, 1948, was a day that had been celebrated and honored all over the world by Jews and non-Jews as well, amongst especially the Christian Zionist community that had been so wide at the time.
This is a day when we celebrate the Jewish people's return to our ancestral homeland. After 2,000 years, we've been exiled. We've suffered through persecution, pogroms, the Holocaust, but throughout time, we have never lost hope to return to Zion, to Jerusalem, to our eternal homeland, Israel. And this is a day to celebrate and to rejoice.
May 15, 1948, marked the official end of the British Mandate. Since May 15 fell on a Sabbath, David Ben-Gurion announced the state's existence on Friday afternoon, May 14th. Since then, Israel's Knesset marks the day on the Hebrew calendar, which changes year to year. However, Ilana Heidelman of Forever Israel wants to reestablish May 15th as Declaration Day for the rest of the world.
What we wanted to ensure is that Declaration Day is a day where we are able to reaffirm Israel's legitimate existence in international law and in the welcome as amongst the family of nations. The rest of the world will have an opportunity to recognize this historical milestone, especially considering that the international community affirmed Israel's existence on that very day, starting with President Truman 11 minutes after the declaration was made.
Heidemann wants to present an alternative to the UN's Nakba Day.
So it's very important that we establish these types of events, not only this year, but every year, so that Nakba and the idea of existence as catastrophe doesn't become a rhetoric that is so easily adopted into what especially the political world understands and the diplomatic world understands.
A number of ambassadors attended the event, including the ambassador from Guatemala, the second country after the U.S. to recognize the Jewish state in 1948.
For me, it's a pleasure, it's an honor to be here in this wonderful country because all time, people in Guatemala, we learn to love this country because for us, it's the country of God.
Not coincidentally, Azerbaijan opened its embassy in Israel on the 75th year in the independence of Israel. We believe it's an important milestone in our political relations, bilateral relations with Israel. This will give us new opportunities into widening, developing our relations in various fields. We consider Israel as our strategic partners and want to have cooperation by all means of this word.
While it can be a struggle to present Israel's case to the UN, Heidemann believes it's worth it.
Luckily, at the United Nations, we also see some change happening with some of the UN ambassadors being more understanding of Israel's history and truth, but it's a slow process. So every little attempt that we make is an important one.
Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.